Are you living the life you truly want, or are you settling for less because you believe weakness is your fate? It's time to face the hard truth. Weakness is a choice. In every moment, you are making a decision to either stay weak or step into your true power. So what will it be? Will you choose to remain where you are, stuck in the comfort of your excuses, or will you rise up and become your own savior? We all have that little voice inside us, the one that tells us we're not enough, that we're not strong enough, or that we can't handle the challenges ahead. It's natural to feel weak sometimes. But here's the thing, weakness is not a permanent state. It's a choice, a belief we hold on to, and something we can change. You can wake up every single day and decide to become the strongest version of yourself. But that choice, it's yours and yours alone. Now, I know you've heard that strength comes from grinding, from working harder than anyone else, from pushing your body, mind, and spirit. But the first step, it's mental. Before you can achieve anything, you must believe that you have the power to change. Because if you don't believe that, nothing will ever move. Belief is the seed from which all greatness grows. You cannot wait for someone else to save you. You cannot wait for the world to change. The only way to achieve greatness is to decide that you are the person who will lead yourself there. If you're still unsure, here's the reward for sticking with me till the end of this video. You will walk away with the understanding that everything, every success and failure, every moment of strength and weakness is all in your hands. You'll know how to break free from the chains of mediocrity and embrace the fierce power that resides within you. I want you to think about this for a second. Why do so many people settle for weakness? Why do we choose comfort, excuses, and fear over growth, strength, and achievement? It's simple. Weakness feels safe. It's familiar. It doesn't require effort, discipline, or risk. But here's the dangerous part. Staying in that comfort zone, avoiding challenges, choosing weakness over strength will not just keep you stuck. It will rob you of the future you could have had. Now ask yourself, what is the cost of staying weak? The cost is your potential. The cost is your legacy. The cost is a lifetime of regret. But here's the good news. You can change it. You can make a different choice today. You can choose strength. You can choose discipline. You can choose to rise above the doubts that try to keep you in a place of weakness. Think about it for a moment. There are people who have faced far greater challenges than you could ever imagine, yet they overcame them because they decided, I will not stay weak. They chose to grow, to push through, and to redefine what was possible for them. And that same power is available to you right now if you are willing to accept the responsibility of it. The truth is, the only thing holding you back is the decision to stay where you are. Weakness isn't some curse or outside force. It's a belief, a mindset, and a choice. You can choose to reject it and embrace your full power. You can choose to stop hiding behind excuses, fear, and comfort. You can choose to fight for the life you deserve. So, what's it going to be? Are you going to keep pretending that your circumstances control you, or are you going to stand up and take full responsibility for your future? The truth is, no one is coming to save you. The world doesn't owe you anything. The only person who can change your life is you. But that means you have to take action. You have to choose strength every single day. You may be asking, how can I do that? Where do I even start? The answer is simple. Start by changing how you think about yourself. The first step in becoming strong is to stop thinking of yourself as weak. It's that simple. When you start to see yourself as someone who is capable of handling any challenge, that's when things will begin to shift. And every single step you take after that will be building the new version of yourself. The version that never backs down, never gives up, and refuses to settle for less. You are not powerless. You are not destined for failure. You are not weak. You are simply someone who has forgotten their true potential. But that's about to change. You have the power to unlock the greatest version of yourself, and it starts today. Now, think about how different your life could be if you decided to stop letting weakness control you. Imagine waking up every morning knowing that you are in control of your destiny. That's the kind of power you're capable of, and it's waiting for you. You just have to make the choice. Remember, strength isn't something that happens overnight, but every single day, you have the opportunity to take one more step toward it, one more decision, one more action, and that's how you build a life that's truly your own. The next steps are in your hands. You're not weak. You are a force of nature. Now, it's time to embrace your power and take control. Are you ready? We often think that weakness is something that happens to us. We convince ourselves that life is unfair, that challenges are too great, or that we just aren't strong enough to overcome them. But what if I told you that weakness is not something that happens to you? It's something you allow. Weakness is a decision. It's a choice to give in when the going gets tough. It's a belief that you can't rise above, that you're somehow not equipped for the journey ahead. And that right there is the biggest lie you could ever tell yourself. The truth is, weakness doesn't exist unless you let it. There is no inherent power in weakness, only in the stories we tell ourselves about why we can't succeed. Every time you give in to that voice in your head, the one telling you it's too hard or that you're not good enough, you're making a choice to remain where you are. You're deciding to stay weak, to stay stuck, and to live in the comfort of that illusion. This is where many people fall into the trap. The world tells you that weakness is just a part of life, something to accept, but if you start to see it for what it really is, a self-imposed limitation, you can change your entire reality. The only way to break free from this illusion is to understand that you are the one who controls your strength, not the circumstances around you. And once you realize this, everything changes. Let me break it down. How many times have you felt weak, helpless, or incapable of achieving something? Maybe it was a goal you thought was too far out of reach. Maybe it was a challenge that seemed too daunting. But here's the thing, those feelings of inadequacy, those moments of doubt, they're not the truth about who you are. They're just temporary thoughts, fleeting emotions that don't define you. The world, society, and even the people around you may tell you that you're not enough. They may project their own fears, insecurities, and doubts onto you. But that doesn't mean you have to accept those lies as your truth. Your value doesn't come from external validation. It comes from your inner belief in yourself. The moment you stop letting the world tell you what's possible for you is the moment you break free from the illusion of weakness. And yet, we continue to accept weakness because it's what we've been taught to do. We live in a culture that celebrates comfort and security over effort and growth. The idea of working hard, pushing through discomfort, and facing challenges head-on is often met with resistance. Why? Because it requires us to step outside of our comfort zones. It demands that we confront the fear that lies just beyond the edge of what's familiar. And for most people, that's a terrifying thought. But here's where the magic happens. True strength is born in discomfort. It's in the moments when you're faced with difficulty, when you feel like giving up, that you have the greatest opportunity to grow. Strength isn't something that's handed to you. It's something you build step by step, choice by choice. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to grow stronger, to prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you ever imagined. Think about the hardest moments of your life. When you faced adversity, when things seemed impossible, you probably felt like giving up. But somehow, some way, you made it through. You didn't stay down. You didn't let weakness claim you. And it wasn't because the world was any easier or your circumstances magically improved. It was because you decided not to stay weak. The human mind is incredibly powerful, and it can either work for you or against you. When you choose to embrace the struggle, when you decide that discomfort is the gateway to growth, you begin to rewire your thinking. You stop seeing challenges as obstacles and start seeing them as opportunities. You stop seeing failure as a reflection of your worth and start viewing it as a lesson, a stepping stone to success. This is how you break free from the illusion of weakness. You begin to see yourself not as someone who is fragile, but as someone who is resilient. The difference between those who stay weak and those who rise above is simply a shift in mindset. When you believe you can overcome anything, when you see challenges as temporary and solvable, your entire approach to life changes. Weakness becomes irrelevant because you understand that strength is not about avoiding hardship, it's about embracing it and pushing through. But this shift doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, it takes practice, it takes a willingness to confront the discomfort that comes with growth. But every time you face a challenge, every time you push past a fear or doubt, you gain confidence, you start to believe in your own abilities. And eventually, the idea of weakness will become foreign to you. It will no longer be a part of your identity. This doesn't mean you won't feel weak at times. Of course you will, we all do. But the key is to recognize those feelings as just that, feelings. They don't define you, and they don't control you unless you allow them to. The true measure of strength is not in never feeling weak. It's in choosing to stand back up, to keep going, even when it feels impossible. Strength is about resilience, determination, and the refusal to accept weakness as your reality. So next time you feel like giving up, next time you feel weak or defeated, remind yourself of this simple truth. Weakness is a choice. It's not your destiny, it's not who you are, and it doesn't have to define you. You have the power to rise above it, to choose strength over weakness, and to take control of your life. You have the power to become the person you were always meant to be. Imagine waking up every day with the confidence that you are fully equipped to handle anything life throws at you, the challenges, the hardships, the uncertainty. They no longer hold the power to shake your foundation. You wake up knowing that your strength, your success, and your happiness come from within. This is the power of self-sufficiency. It is the understanding that you are the ultimate source of your own strength and that no external circumstance or person can define your worth. In a world that constantly bombards us with messages about what we should have, who we should be, and how we should act, it's easy to forget that the only approval we truly need is our own. We've been taught that happiness, success, and even our sense of security come from others, from society, from our families, from our jobs, from the validation we receive from the outside world. But this mindset leaves us constantly seeking, constantly looking for something or someone else to fill a void inside us. It leaves us vulnerable, dependent, and weak. But the truth is, when you rely on others or on external circumstances for your happiness or sense of worth, you are giving up your power. You're allowing your happiness to be dictated by things you can't control. And in doing so, you're inviting weakness into your life. The moment you look outside of yourself for the answer to your happiness, you're opening the door to dependency, and that dependency is a form of weakness. What if instead you embraced the idea that your strength, your happiness, your success, and your life's direction come entirely from within? What if you stopped waiting for someone else to give you permission to be powerful, to be strong, or to succeed? The truth is, the moment you take full responsibility for your own life is the moment everything changes. You stop looking for validation from others because you no longer need it. You stop waiting for the perfect circumstances because you understand that you can create your own success, and with that, you take the first step toward unlocking your true potential. Self-sufficiency is not about isolation or self-reliance to the point of cutting off others. It's about owning your power. It's about realizing that you are the one who controls your destiny. No one else can dictate your success. No one else can tell you how far you can go or what you're capable of. Only you have the power to determine that. Think about the people who have achieved incredible success throughout history. They didn't sit around waiting for the world to hand them a blueprint for their success. They didn't wait for permission from others. They didn't rely on others to make them strong. They understood that to achieve greatness, they had to own their own journey. They had to be their own saviors. They knew that their success didn't depend on the circumstances around them, but on the choices they made and the actions they took every single day. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that we need help, that we need a hand to guide us, or that we need others to show us the way. While support is valuable, true strength comes from the ability to move forward on your own. The moment you realize that you have everything you need to succeed within yourself is the moment you begin to unlock the door to limitless possibilities. This is the core of self-sufficiency, the understanding that your actions, your decisions, and your mindset are the keys to your success. You don't need to wait for permission or validation. Because you don't need to look outside yourself to see if you're doing the right thing. The answers are already inside of you. You already know what you need to do, and the only thing holding you back is your own doubt. The beauty of self-sufficiency is that it doesn't mean you'll never need anyone. We all need support and collaboration at times, but the difference is that you no longer rely on others to shape your future. You no longer need to wait for someone to give you a green light. You become the driver of your own life. You become your own hero. When you embrace this mindset, something amazing happens. You start to feel more capable, more confident, and more in control of your life. You no longer feel helpless when things go wrong because you know that you can handle it. You begin to trust in your own abilities, and you realize that your success is your responsibility, and it's within your reach. This shift in mindset is crucial. When you stop depending on the world for validation and start looking inward for strength, you begin to tap into a well of power that you never knew existed. The confidence that comes from self-sufficiency is unshakable. It doesn't depend on external circumstances. It doesn't depend on anyone else's opinion of you. It's something that you create and control every single day. Consider the impact of this mindset on your relationships, your career, and your personal growth. When you become your own source of strength, you become more resilient in the face of adversity. You become more adaptable to change. You become more focused on your goals because you know that the power to achieve them is in your hands. You stop waiting for permission to live the life you deserve, and you start making the decisions that move you closer to your dreams. This is the power of self-sufficiency. It's about realizing that you are the key to your own success. It's about understanding that you can handle whatever life throws at you because you've built the strength and confidence to do so. You don't need to wait for someone else to save you. You are your own savior. When you make the choice to take control of your life and embrace self-sufficiency, you break free from the chains of dependence. You stop allowing weakness to define you. Instead, you start walking a path of strength, power, and self-belief. And as you continue to build on that foundation, you will see that there is nothing in this world that can stand in your way. What would happen if you decided today to break free from the chains of comfort? The reality is that comfort, while it may feel safe, is often the very thing that holds us back. It traps us in a cycle of mediocrity, preventing us from reaching our true potential. We often seek comfort because it feels good, it's familiar, it's easy, and it doesn't challenge us. But comfort can be the silent killer of ambition. It's the invisible force that convinces you that you don't need to push further, don't need to try harder, don't need to become more than you are. But here's the truth. Growth happens outside your comfort zone. The magic lies in the discomfort, in the struggle, in the pain of pushing past what feels easy. It's only when you choose discomfort that you begin to transform your life. Comfort creates a false sense of security. We all crave comfort, but if you allow it to dictate your life, it will eventually make you weak. The comfort of staying in a job you hate because it's safe. The comfort of staying in a relationship that no longer serves you because it's familiar. The comfort of staying in your routine because it feels easy. These choices do not lead to growth. They lead to stagnation. But the truth is, no one who ever achieved greatness stayed in their comfort zone. Every person who has reached the heights of success faced discomfort, fear, and struggle. They chose the hard path over the easy one. They made the decision to break free from the comfort that surrounded them, and in doing so, they unlocked their potential. Look around you at the people who are stuck in the cycle of comfort. They talk about their dreams but never take action. They wish for more but never move toward it. They are paralyzed by the thought of stepping outside their safe zone. They tell themselves it's easier to stay where they are. But deep down, they know that staying comfortable means staying stuck. When you choose to break free from comfort, you choose to confront your fears. You choose to face the unknown and take risks. And in doing so, you start to realize that the things you feared most were never as terrifying as they seemed. The discomfort that comes from trying something new, from pushing your limits, from stepping outside of your familiar world, that discomfort is where growth is born. The discomfort you experience when you push yourself to do something hard is where you discover what you're truly capable of. Every time you face your fears, every time you challenge yourself to do something that makes you uncomfortable, you become stronger, more resilient, and more capable. You learn that you are capable of more than you thought, and you begin to see that the only thing holding you back was your own fear of discomfort. What would it feel like to wake up every day knowing that you are living a life that challenges you, that stretches you, that forces you to grow? Imagine waking up with a sense of purpose, knowing that you are taking action toward your goals, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary for your growth. When you choose to break free from the chains of comfort, you choose to take control of your life. You choose to become the person you were always meant to be. Comfort is a form of self-imposed limitation. It tells you that you are fine where you are, that you don't need to change, that everything is good enough. But here's the catch. Good enough is never good enough. When you settle for good enough, you stop striving for greatness. You stop trying to push your limits. You stop being the best version of yourself. Comfort convinces you that you don't need to take risks, that you don't need to strive for more, and that's where the problem lies. Growth requires discomfort. The best versions of yourself will only emerge when you are willing to put yourself in situations that force you to evolve. This is where true success lies. It's not in staying where it's easy, it's in stepping into the unknown, taking the risks, and embracing the challenges that come with it. The discomfort of breaking out of your comfort zone is a small price to pay for the extraordinary life that awaits you on the other side. Think about some of the most successful people in history. They didn't get to where they are by staying comfortable. They didn't reach greatness by taking the easy path. They stepped into discomfort, took the leap of faith, and faced the fear head on. They chose discomfort because they understood that true growth comes from pushing beyond what is comfortable and familiar. Imagine the possibilities if you decided to embrace the discomfort that comes with growth. What would happen if you took that first step towards something new, something challenging, something that scares you? The fear you feel is not a sign to stop, it's a sign to push forward. On the other side of fear is freedom, success, and fulfillment. But to get there, you have to be willing to leave comfort behind. You have everything you need to succeed, but you'll never unlock that potential if you remain in your comfort zone. The best version of you is waiting on the other side of discomfort. So, ask yourself, are you ready to face the challenge? Are you ready to step out of your comfort zone and unlock the greatness that lies within you? When you choose discomfort, you choose growth, you choose progress, you choose the future you've always dreamed of. Don't let the illusion of comfort hold you back from your potential. Break free. Step into the discomfort and watch how your life transforms before your eyes. What does it take to achieve the life you've always dreamed? It's not luck, it's not talent, and it's certainly not fate. The key to unlocking your true potential lies in one thing: self-discipline. The ability to control your actions, thoughts, and emotions no matter how difficult the situation may be. Self-discipline is the silent force that drives the successful, the achievers, and those who consistently outperform their competition. It's what separates the winners from the rest. So what exactly is self-discipline? It's the ability to say no to the things that bring immediate pleasure and say yes to the things that bring long-term rewards. It's about pushing yourself to do the hard things when everything inside of you screams to give up. It's about creating habits that make you better even when it feels uncomfortable and sticking to them no matter what. It's about staying consistent when the motivation fades and remaining focused on your goals when distractions seem overwhelming. Self-discipline is more than just getting up early or hitting the gym every day. It's about showing up for yourself even when you don't feel like it. It's about having the strength to keep going when everything around you is telling you to quit. The most successful people aren't those who never face challenges. They're the ones who keep moving forward despite the obstacles in their path. They understand that the key to success isn't found in comfort or shortcuts, but in hard work and consistency. Think about the times in your life when you've struggled. We all face moments of doubt, fear, and fatigue. But in those moments, you have two choices. You can give in to the discomfort, or you can rise above it. The power of self-discipline lies in your ability to keep going, even when the odds are stacked against you. It's about building the mental toughness to do what's necessary, even when you don't feel like it. Here's where the magic happens. When you make the decision to be disciplined, you take control of your life. You stop being a passive observer of your circumstances and become an active participant in shaping your destiny. Self-discipline doesn't just happen by accident. It's something you have to choose every single day. It's the ability to set your goals, make a plan, and then follow through on that plan with consistency and dedication. Self-discipline also involves creating a mindset that sees setbacks as opportunities for growth. When things don't go as planned, it's easy to fall into the trap of frustration and self-pity. But the disciplined individual understands that failure is not the end. It's simply part of the process. Each mistake, each challenge is a lesson that brings you one step closer to your goals. Self-discipline means pushing through those tough times and coming out stronger on the other side. What many people don't realize is that self-discipline doesn't just impact your career or personal goals. It impacts every area of your life. When you're disciplined with your time, you start to see improvements in your health, relationships, and even your emotional well-being. The habits you create and the actions you take every day determine the life you will lead, and when you consistently make choices that align with your goals, you'll start to see real results. It's important to remember that self-discipline isn't about perfection. It's not about being rigid or inflexible. It's about making choices that are aligned with your values and long-term vision, even when it's hard. It's about staying committed to your goals, even when you slip up. The path to success is never a straight line. It's full of ups and downs, twists and turns. But with self-discipline, you learn to embrace those challenges, and you develop the resilience to keep moving forward. One of the most powerful aspects of self-discipline is its ability to create momentum. The more disciplined you are, the more you build upon your progress. Each small step you take toward your goals compounds over time. It's the consistency of your actions that eventually leads to massive success. And here's the thing, it doesn't matter how small your steps are, what matters is that you keep taking them. When you make self-discipline a habit, the results will speak for themselves. The discipline to do the things that are hard, even when you don't feel like it, is the secret to unlocking your full potential. It's easy to take the path of least resistance. It's easy to let emotions, distractions, and laziness dictate your actions. But true success requires a level of discipline that transcends those fleeting feelings. It requires the ability to stick to your commitments, even when the going gets tough. The strength to choose long-term rewards over short-term comfort is what sets the high achievers apart from the rest. Think about the people you admire the most, the ones who inspire you with their success, their work ethic, and their determination. I guarantee you that their journey wasn't an easy one. They didn't just wait for opportunities to come to them. They created them through their self-discipline. They were willing to put in the hard work day after day to get where they are. And now they're reaping the rewards of their effort. If you want to achieve the life you've always dreamed of, you must embrace the power of self-discipline. It's not about being perfect. It's about making the decision to take action, to show up every day, and to keep going no matter what. Success isn't reserved for the lucky few. It's available to anyone who is willing to work for it, to be disciplined in their approach, and to stay committed to their goals. So the question is, are you ready to commit to your own success? Are you ready to take control of your life and start building the future you deserve? It all begins with self-discipline. Choose it every day, stick with it, and watch as your life transforms before your eyes. Do you ever find yourself staying in your comfort zone, even when you know it's holding you back? The truth is, your comfort zone is not as safe as it seems. In fact, it's the biggest barrier standing between you and the life you truly want. We've all been there, sitting back, feeling comfortable, and avoiding the challenges that could push us forward. But what if I told you that your comfort zone is actually killing your potential? The comfort zone feels good because it's familiar. It's where you don't have to take risks, face failure, or experience discomfort. It's easy to stay there, surrounded by the safety of routines and predictable outcomes. But the problem is, growth never happens in the comfort zone. If you want to reach new heights, you have to step outside of that zone and embrace the unknown. You have to be willing to take risks, make mistakes, and face the discomfort that comes with growth. Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff, looking at the vast unknown below. The fear of jumping is overwhelming, but what if you never took that leap? You'd stay stuck on the edge, looking at the possibilities, but never experiencing them. This is what happens when you choose to stay in your comfort zone. You see the potential for greatness, but you never take action. You never make the leap, and as a result, you stay stagnant, always wondering what could have been. It's easy to become complacent, to settle for the life you have right now, but when you do that, you're essentially putting a limit on your own potential. You're telling yourself that you're not capable of more, that you're fine where you are. But deep down, you know that there's more inside of you waiting to be unleashed. And the only way to tap into that potential is by stepping outside of your comfort zone. The reality is, comfort breeds mediocrity. It's in those moments of discomfort, those moments when you're forced to challenge yourself, that true growth happens. When you're comfortable, you're not stretching your limits, you're not improving, you're simply maintaining the status quo. And if you want to achieve anything remarkable in life, maintaining the status quo isn't going to cut it. The fear of stepping outside of your comfort zone is completely natural. It's the fear of the unknown, the fear of failure, and the fear of what others might think. But what if I told you that all of those fears are just illusions? They're stories you've told yourself to keep you safe, to keep you in the familiar. But those stories aren't real. They're just obstacles you've placed in your own path to keep you from reaching your potential. The most successful people didn't get to where they are by playing it safe. They stepped outside of their comfort zones, faced their fears, and took action even when they were terrified. They knew that growth doesn't happen by staying in the same place. It happens by challenging yourself, by pushing your limits, and by doing the things that scare you. The fear you feel when stepping out of your comfort zone is a sign that you're on the right track. It's the signal that you're growing, evolving, and becoming the person you were always meant to be. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you're choosing to remain stagnant. But every time you step outside of your comfort zone, you're opening the door to new opportunities, new experiences, and new levels of success. The first step is always the hardest. It's easy to find excuses, to tell yourself that you're not ready or that it's too risky. But the truth is, you'll never feel completely ready. There's always going to be uncertainty. There's always going to be fear. And there's always going to be a reason to hold back. But if you want to achieve greatness, you have to take that first step even when you don't feel ready. And once you do, you'll begin to realize something powerful. Stepping out of your comfort zone becomes easier the more you do it. Each time you face your fears and push through the discomfort, you build resilience, you build confidence, you build momentum. The more you stretch your limits, the more you realize just how much you're capable of. What once seemed impossible starts to feel within reach, and what once terrified you no longer holds power over you. The journey to success is not for the faint of heart. It's for those who are willing to step outside of their comfort zone, who are willing to face their fears and take risks. Success isn't handed to you on a silver platter. It's earned by those who are brave enough to do the hard things, to take the leaps, and to embrace the unknown. And if you want to achieve that success, you have to be willing to let go of the comfort that's holding you back. Comfort is a trap, and the only way to break free is by taking bold action, by challenging yourself, by stepping into the discomfort, and by doing what others are too afraid to do. Every great achievement in history has been the result of someone stepping outside of their comfort zone and doing the things that others thought were impossible. You have that same power within you. You just have to decide to stop playing it safe and start embracing the discomfort that leads to growth. So ask yourself, what would your life look like if you stepped outside of your comfort zone? What could you accomplish if you were brave enough to face your fears, take risks, and go after what you truly want? The potential is there. It always has been. But it's up to you to make the choice to step out of the comfort zone and into the life you've always dreamed of. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until you feel ready. The time is now. Step outside of your comfort zone and unlock the life you deserve. Do you ever stop to look at your life and ask yourself, am I really living the life I want? It's a tough question, isn't it? Many of us go through our days without questioning the reality we've created for ourselves. We get comfortable with the way things are, even when we know deep down that we're not living up to our full potential. But here's the thing, the truth is always right in front of you. It's time to face it. Facing the truth about your life isn't easy. It forces you to look at the uncomfortable parts, the areas where you're falling short, the dreams you put on hold. It means acknowledging where you're weak and where you've been avoiding change. But this is exactly what you need to do if you want to take control of your future. You cannot grow unless you are honest with yourself. If you keep lying to yourself about where you are, about who you are, and about what you've become, you will never break free from the chains that hold you down. Truth is power. It's what allows you to break free from the illusion of comfort and mediocrity. And while facing the truth can be painful, it's the only way to find the strength to change. Most people are too scared to confront their own reality because they don't want to face their flaws, their weaknesses, or the things they've been avoiding. But if you can push past the fear of the truth, you'll find freedom like you've never known before. It's easy to go through life pretending that everything is okay. You can fool yourself into thinking that you're doing fine, that you're getting by, that you're making progress, but deep inside, you know when you're not truly fulfilling your potential. You know when you're settling for less. You know when you're choosing comfort over growth. The first step toward changing that is being brutally honest with yourself. You don't need anyone else to tell you the truth. You already know it. Think about the areas in your life where you've been avoiding the truth. Maybe it's your career, your health, your relationships, or even your personal goals. We all have areas where we lie to ourselves, where we make excuses for why we haven't done what we know we should be doing. It's easier to pretend, to ignore the uncomfortable feelings, and to focus on something else. But that doesn't change the fact that the truth is still there, staring you in the face. And every time you avoid it, you only delay the growth you could be experiencing. What if you could break free from this cycle? What if you could stop running from the truth and start facing it head on? Imagine the power that comes from no longer hiding from your own reality. Imagine the freedom in finally acknowledging where you are and deciding to change it. This is where true growth begins. Facing the truth means letting go of excuses. It means refusing to stay stuck in the same place. When you're honest with yourself, you stop making excuses for why things aren't happening. You stop blaming external circumstances, other people, or things that are out of your control. You realize that the only thing standing between you and the life you want is you. The moment you stop making excuses and start taking responsibility is the moment your life begins to shift. It also means embracing discomfort. The truth isn't always easy to hear. It can be painful to realize that you're not where you want to be in life, or that you've been wasting time on things that don't matter. But that discomfort is what drives change. If you're willing to face the truth, to sit with that discomfort, you will find the strength to make different choices. You'll find the courage to take the necessary steps to create the life you've been dreaming about. This isn't about being harsh on yourself. It's about being real with yourself. It's about recognizing that you have the power to make a change, but only if you're willing to stop pretending and start taking action. The longer you delay this, the longer you stay stuck in the same cycle. But the moment you face the truth, you unlock a new level of power and potential. The truth also means confronting your fears. Fear is often what holds us back from facing reality. We fear what we might find when we look at our lives honestly. We fear what it will mean if we finally admit that we've been avoiding change for so long. But fear is just a feeling, and feelings, no matter how strong they may seem, do not define you. Fear will always be present when you're about to make a big change, but it's how you choose to respond to that fear that matters. When you face the truth, you take back control. You stop being a passive observer in your own life and become an active participant. You start making the decisions that will lead you to a better future instead of waiting for things to magically improve. But that starts with being honest about where you are and where you want to go. Imagine looking in the mirror and seeing the person you could be, not the person you've settled for. Imagine living a life where you no longer avoid the truth, but instead you embrace it with open arms. This is the power that comes from facing your reality. It's the power of self-awareness, of knowing where you are and having the courage to change it. When you look at your life honestly, you may not always like what you see, but that's okay. The truth is not about perfection, it's about growth. It's about acknowledging where you are, learning from it, and deciding that you're not going to stay there any longer. Once you do that, you will find the strength to push forward, to make the changes that will lead to the life you've always dreamed of. The truth is your key to freedom. Don't let fear, excuses, or the comfort of ignorance keep you stuck. Embrace the truth, own it, and watch as your life transforms. It's time to stop pretending and start living the life you were meant for. The truth will set you free, but only if you have the courage to face it. There comes a moment in life when you realize that everything you've ever dreamed of, everything you've ever wanted, is entirely within your control. But to seize it, you must first take ownership. Ownership is one of the most powerful concepts in human existence. It is the recognition that you and only you are responsible for the life you lead, the choices you make, and the person you become. No one else can make those decisions for you. No one else can carry the weight of your future but you. It's easy to blame others, to point fingers, and to think that the world owes you something, but that mindset keeps you stuck. It's like walking in circles, waiting for something or someone to change. But here's the cold hard truth. If you don't take ownership of your life, nothing will ever change. You'll remain exactly where you are, and all those dreams, those ambitions, will just slip away, drowned out by excuses and complaints. Taking responsibility doesn't mean carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders or being perfect. It means understanding that the power to change is yours. The life you've created, for better or worse, is the sum of the choices you've made, and the beautiful part of this is that you can choose to make different decisions starting right now. It's not about where you've been, but about where you're going and the steps you're willing to take to get there. When you take responsibility, you stop playing the victim. You stop waiting for the world to hand you opportunities. Instead, you create them. It's a shift in mindset, a powerful life-altering choice. Instead of looking outside yourself for answers, you look inward. You understand that you have the ability to change your circumstances, that you can create your own luck, and that every action you take either moves you closer to or further from your goals. You have a choice in how you respond to challenges. Challenges will always come. Life will throw obstacles in your way, some big, some small. But you get to decide how you approach them. You can choose to see them as roadblocks, or you can see them as stepping stones, opportunities for growth. When you take responsibility, you shift from being a passive observer to an active participant in your life. You choose how to react. You choose to learn, to adapt, to rise. The moment you take responsibility, something incredible happens. You stop giving away your power. You stop blaming other people for your failures. You stop making excuses for why things aren't going the way you want. Instead, you focus on what you can control. You start to see that no one is coming to save you. No one is going to magically change your life for you. It's up to you. And the moment you accept that, you step into your full potential. Ownership is not just about responsibility for your actions. It's about ownership of your thoughts, your feelings, and your mindset. What you think shapes what you do. If you believe that you are capable, that you can succeed, that you have what it takes to achieve your dreams, you will act in ways that move you toward those goals. But if you constantly doubt yourself, if you believe that you're not good enough, or that success is for others but not for you, that mindset will hold you back. Taking responsibility means you stop looking for excuses and start looking for solutions. It means you stop seeing problems as things that limit you and start seeing them as challenges to overcome. Life isn't about avoiding difficulty, it's about learning to thrive in spite of it. When you take ownership of your mindset, you start to see every difficulty as an opportunity for growth. Every setback becomes a lesson that leads you one step closer to success. Let's face it, we all have dreams. We all have ambitions. But too many people never achieve them because they're too busy blaming others, making excuses, or playing the victim. They convince themselves that their dreams are impossible or that they're not good enough to make them a reality. But the moment you take responsibility for your life, you change that story. You become the hero of your own journey. The beauty of taking responsibility is that it empowers you to make changes. It gives you the freedom to decide who you want to be. Your past doesn't define you unless you allow it to. The mistakes you've made, the failures you've experienced, they're not the end. They are lessons, opportunities to grow. When you own your past, you learn from it. You use it as fuel for your future. But if you let your past control you, you will stay stuck. You will never move forward. Taking ownership also means getting out of your comfort zone. Comfort is a dangerous thing. It lulls you into a false sense of security. You get comfortable with where you are and you forget that growth happens when you push past your limits. You're not meant to stay in one place. You're meant to grow, to evolve, and to become more than you ever thought possible. And you can only do that when you stop playing it safe and start taking risks. This doesn't mean you have to take giant leaps. Small steps forward are still progress. Each time you make a decision to do something that takes you out of your comfort zone, you're taking ownership of your growth. Each time you challenge yourself to push beyond what feels easy, you're strengthening your ability to succeed. These small actions compound over time and lead to massive changes. Taking responsibility also means understanding that success isn't handed to anyone. It's earned through consistent effort, hard work, and dedication. It's not about waiting for the right opportunity to fall in your lap. It's about creating opportunities by showing up every day, doing the work, and refusing to quit. Ownership is about becoming the person who is willing to put in the effort, even when it's hard, even when it seems like nothing is working. And here's the most empowering truth of all. The moment you take responsibility for your life, you become unstoppable. You no longer rely on external circumstances to determine your happiness or success. You become the driving force behind your own journey. You realize that you are the one in control, and you start to create the life you've always dreamed of. Take ownership. Make the choice today to stop waiting for someone to change your life for you. The power to create your future is already within you. It always has been. It's time to stop blaming, to stop making excuses, and to take responsibility for the life you want to live. The moment you do, everything changes. You take back control, and the world is yours to conquer. Imagine waking up every morning with a clear purpose, a drive that pushes you to take action even when you don't feel like it. What would your life look like if you had the discipline to push through when others quit? Discipline is the invisible force that shapes your future. It's not about motivation, which comes and goes. Discipline is the unwavering commitment to continue doing what needs to be done day after day, regardless of the challenges you face. Discipline is what separates the people who succeed from the ones who fall short. It's easy to be inspired for a moment, to feel excited about a new goal or ambition. But what happens when that excitement fades? What happens when obstacles arise or when life throws distractions your way? That's where discipline comes in. Discipline is what allows you to show up even when you don't want to. It's the ability to keep going even when the path gets tough. It's the foundation of success. In a world where distractions are everywhere, where instant gratification is just a click away, discipline is more important than ever. It's about making the choice to do what needs to be done, even if it's not the easiest or most fun option. And this choice isn't just about your career or your goals. It's about your health, your relationships, your mindset, everything in your life. Discipline is the key to taking control of every aspect of your world. Think about the people you admire the most, the ones who have achieved greatness in their field, whether it's in sports, business, or personal development. They didn't get there by chance. They didn't get there because they were lucky or because they had everything handed to them. No, they got there because they were disciplined. They woke up every day and worked, even when it was hard, even when they didn't feel like it. They understood that their success didn't rely on how they felt, it relied on their ability to consistently take action. This isn't just about working harder either. It's about working smarter. Discipline isn't just doing the same thing over and over without thinking. It's about being intentional with your time, your effort, and your energy. It's about setting clear goals and following through on them, even when you're tired, frustrated, or overwhelmed. Discipline means prioritizing your time and making sure that the things that matter most get your attention, instead of wasting time on things that don't move you forward. One of the greatest misconceptions about discipline is that it requires an iron will or superhuman strength. But discipline isn't about brute force, it's about consistency. It's about making small, deliberate choices every single day that align with your bigger vision. The person who exercises discipline isn't necessarily the one with the most talent, but the one who continues to show up day after day without fail. Start by looking at your daily habits. The small things you do every day create the foundation for everything else in your life. If you want to be fit, it's the daily workout that counts, not just the occasional burst of energy at the gym. If you want to be successful, it's the daily grind, the hours of focus and dedication that build up over time. It's not about trying to do everything at once or expecting overnight results. It's about showing up, consistently doing the work, and trusting that the results will come in time. The power of discipline lies in its compounding effect. The small actions you take today will add up to massive results in the future. It's like saving money. If you invest a small amount regularly, over time that money grows. The same is true for your discipline. Every effort you put in today, no matter how small, brings you closer to your long-term goals. Discipline isn't about perfection, it's about making progress, even when that progress is incremental. But here's the thing, there will always be moments of doubt. There will be times when you question whether it's worth it, when you feel like quitting, when everything inside you tells you to stop. But it's in those moments that discipline becomes most powerful. The true test of your character is how you respond when you're faced with discomfort, fatigue, or temptation. Do you give in or do you push through? Do you stick to your commitments or do you let your emotions dictate your actions? You see, discipline isn't about being a robot who follows orders without thinking. It's about having the mental fortitude to make the right choices, even when those choices are hard. It's about learning to say no to the things that don't align with your goals, even when they seem tempting in the moment. And it's about developing the strength to push through when the road gets rough, knowing that every step forward brings you closer to the life you want. Discipline is also about creating structure in your life. It's about having a routine, a plan that guides your actions and helps you stay on track. When you have discipline, you don't let distractions control you. You take charge of your day, your time, and your choices. You make sure that your actions are intentional and you align everything you do with the bigger picture of your goals. But it's not just about staying focused on work or achieving results. Discipline is also about taking care of yourself. It's about getting enough rest, fueling your body with healthy food, and giving your mind the space it needs to recharge. Discipline isn't about pushing yourself to the limit all the time. It's about balance. It's about knowing when to work and when to rest, when to hustle and when to recover. The great thing about discipline is that once you start to practice it, it becomes a habit. It starts to feel natural, like second nature. You begin to crave the structure, the sense of accomplishment that comes from completing tasks and staying on track. You don't have to force yourself to be disciplined. It becomes who you are. And when discipline becomes a part of your identity, it changes everything. It transforms the way you approach challenges, the way you pursue your goals, and the way you live your life. In the end, discipline is the difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who fall short. It's the force that turns aspirations into reality. It's the fuel that powers your journey, and it's the key to becoming the person you always wanted to be. So ask yourself, are you willing to embrace the power of discipline? Are you ready to put in the work day after day to create the life you've always dreamed of? The choice is yours. Life is a series of choices. Every moment you are presented with a decision. Will you take the easy route or push through the discomfort to achieve something greater? Will you settle for mediocrity or will you strive for excellence? The truth is, everything you experience, everything you achieve, and everything you become is the result of the choices you make. You hold the power to shape your future with every single decision. The problem is, many people don't realize the power of their choices. They don't understand that their current circumstances are not a reflection of fate, luck, or outside forces, but rather the result of their own decisions. People often blame their environment, their upbringing, or even their genetic makeup for the life they lead, but that's simply not true. While external factors can influence your life, it's your choices that ultimately determine where you end up. Think about it for a moment. When you look back on your life, can you pinpoint the moments where a single choice led you to where you are today? Maybe it was deciding to take a risk, choosing to pursue something uncomfortable, or making a commitment to something bigger than yourself. Whatever it was, that choice changed everything. Now ask yourself, are you making the right choices for your future? Are you choosing to invest in yourself, to push through adversity, and to stay focused on what matters? Or are you letting fear, comfort, or distraction guide your decisions? The first step in taking control of your life is understanding that you are responsible for your choices. The second step is recognizing that every decision, no matter how small, matters. The little choices you make each day, how you spend your time, how you respond to challenges, how you treat others, add up over time. They create a ripple effect that influences everything else in your life. It's easy to think that big decisions are what determine your future, but in reality, it's the accumulation of small choices that shape your destiny. Are you choosing to work on yourself every day? Are you reading, learning, growing, and pushing yourself to become a better version of who you are? Or are you stuck in habits that limit your potential? The truth is, you have the power to create your own future. It's not about waiting for the right moment or hoping that things will magically fall into place. It's about taking action now. It's about choosing to take ownership of your life and your decisions, even when the path is unclear, even when it feels like the world is against you. You don't have to be perfect, and you don't need to have it all figured out, but what you can do is start making better choices today. Make the choice to take one step forward, no matter how small. Make the choice to improve your mindset, to break free from self-doubt, and to push yourself past your comfort zone. Every choice you make is an opportunity to move closer to the life you've always wanted. So, what does it mean to build your own future? It means understanding that success doesn't happen overnight. It's not about luck or waiting for the stars to align. It's about the decisions you make every single day. It's about building habits that align with your vision and taking consistent action to turn that vision into reality. Building your own future also means being willing to take risks. It means stepping out of your comfort zone and doing things that scare you. Growth doesn't happen when you play it safe. You have to be willing to face uncertainty, to make mistakes, and to learn from them. No one who has achieved greatness did so by staying in their comfort zone. You also need to understand that failure is not the end. It's part of the process. It's an essential part of growth. When you fail, you learn. When you face setbacks, you become stronger. The most successful people aren't the ones who never fail. They are the ones who keep going no matter what. There will be times when the road gets tough, and it may feel like you're not making progress. But the key is to stay committed, to stay disciplined, to make the choice to keep moving forward even when it's difficult. Because in those moments, when you push through, you are building the foundation for your future success. Building your own future also means taking responsibility for your own happiness. It's easy to blame others or external circumstances for how you feel, but the truth is, your happiness is in your hands. No one else is responsible for your joy, your fulfillment, or your sense of purpose. It's up to you to create a life that aligns with your values and passions. Ask yourself, what do I want for my future? What am I willing to do to make it happen? Are you willing to put in the hard work, the long hours, and the sacrifices necessary to achieve your dreams? Are you willing to take ownership of your life and not let anyone else dictate your path? You have the power to create the life you want. But it starts with making the right choices. It starts with taking responsibility for your decisions and actions. No one else is going to come and save you. You are your own savior. You have to take charge of your life and start building the future you deserve. This is your life, your journey, and it's time to stop waiting for things to change. It's time to stop making excuses and start taking action. It's time to stop hoping for the best and start creating the best. You have everything you need within you to succeed. The only thing standing in your way is the choices you make. So what will you choose today? Will you choose to take control of your future, or will you continue to let life pass you by? The power is in your hands. It always has been. You are the architect of your own destiny. You hold the keys to your success. Now it's up to you to take that first step and start building the future you've always dreamed of. The choice is yours. When it comes to building the life you want, one key ingredient stands above all others: discipline. Discipline is the secret to achieving anything of value. It's the force that keeps you going when motivation fades. It's what transforms your dreams into reality. Without discipline, your plans remain just plans, unrealized potential, forever locked in the realm of hope. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's about sticking to your commitments even when the initial excitement wears off. It's about making the right decisions day after day, despite the distractions and temptations that surround you. The truth is, most people fail because they lack discipline. They start strong, but lose momentum along the way. They get distracted by shiny objects or give in to short-term pleasures. forgetting that the results they want are built on consistent effort. Success doesn't come in bursts. It doesn't come from quick fixes or magic solutions. It comes from the steady, relentless pursuit of your goals. Discipline is not something that happens overnight. It's a muscle that must be trained and strengthened over time. The more you practice discipline, the easier it becomes. But in the beginning, it's hard. It requires sacrifice. It requires focus. It requires you to make the tough choice, to push through discomfort, knowing that what lies on the other side is worth it. One of the most powerful aspects of discipline is its ability to create momentum. When you stick to your commitments, even when it's difficult, you build momentum. Each small success, each task completed, each day you stay focused adds to your momentum. And that momentum makes it easier to keep going. It creates a snowball effect where each action leads to the next, and soon your progress becomes unstoppable. But there's more to discipline than just doing what's necessary. It's also about consistency. Consistency is what allows your efforts to compound and create lasting change. It's not about doing things perfectly every time. It's about showing up day in and day out and doing the work, no matter how small. Think of it like working out. You don't build muscle by going to the gym once and lifting a heavy weight. You build muscle by showing up consistently, doing the work day after day. It's the same with anything you want to achieve. The key is showing up consistently, even when the results aren't immediately visible. The power of consistency is in its ability to create progress, no matter how small. You may not see big results today or even tomorrow, but if you stay consistent, those small actions will add up. The gap between where you are now and where you want to be will slowly close, one step at a time. In fact, consistency is one of the greatest differentiators between those who succeed and those who fail. It's not about who has the most talent, the most resources, or the best circumstances. It's about who can keep going when things get tough. It's about who can stay consistent, even when it feels like they're not getting anywhere. Imagine you're on a long journey. The road is hard and the end point seems far away. Many people will quit along the way, but if you keep moving, even when progress feels slow, you'll eventually reach your destination. And when you look back, you'll see that all those small steps taken consistently got you to where you wanted to be. Discipline and consistency are not just about working hard. They are about working smart too. You can work hard without making progress, but when you combine hard work with focus and strategy, the results are multiplied. This is why it's important to set clear goals and break them down into actionable steps. Discipline helps you stay focused on those steps, while consistency ensures that you're taking action on them every day. But let's be honest, discipline isn't always easy. There will be days when you don't feel like working, when you're tired, when the distractions are overwhelming, or when you're just not in the mood. On those days, discipline becomes a choice. It's about deciding that your future self is worth the effort. It's about choosing to do what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel at the moment. The good news is discipline gets easier over time. The more you practice it, the more ingrained it becomes in your daily routine. Eventually, discipline becomes second nature. It becomes a part of who you are. And when discipline becomes a part of you, you become unstoppable. It's important to understand that discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. Everyone slips up now and then. The key is to get back on track as quickly as possible. Don't let a setback define you. Don't let one bad day turn into a bad week, a bad month, or a bad year. Get back up, dust yourself off, and keep moving forward. Consistency is about bouncing back from mistakes, not avoiding them. The good news is that the more you practice discipline, the more it becomes ingrained in who you are. It becomes a habit, something that you don't have to think twice about. And when that happens, everything changes. You no longer have to rely on motivation to get things done. You simply show up and do the work. You are building your future one disciplined action at a time. The choices you make today will shape your tomorrow. So ask yourself, are you willing to put in the work? Are you willing to stay disciplined even when it's tough? Are you ready to commit to consistency even when the results seem far away? The future you want is waiting for you, but it's not going to come easily. It will take discipline. It will take consistency. It will take effort, but it will be worth it. And the best part, you have the power to create it. So start today, take that first step, build the discipline you need, and watch as your consistency carries you to the life you've always dreamed of. In a world that constantly points fingers and blames others for their problems, one thing is clear. Nothing will change until you take full responsibility for your own life. We often hear people complain about their circumstances, how life is unfair, how things never go their way, how they're always held back by forces beyond their control. But here's the truth. Nothing will shift until you take ownership of your actions, your decisions, and your future. Taking responsibility is a powerful act. It's the moment you decide to stop being a victim of your circumstances and start being the author of your own story. You stop waiting for the world to hand you what you want, and instead you go out and create it yourself. Taking responsibility means acknowledging that no matter the situation, you have the power to choose how you respond. You can either let challenges control you, or you can rise above them and shape your destiny. Life is full of challenges. It's easy to blame others, circumstances, or even fate when things go wrong, but blaming others only keeps you stuck in a cycle of helplessness. When you refuse to take responsibility, you give away your power. You become dependent on external factors to determine your happiness, your success, and your progress. You're at the mercy of forces you can't control, and that's no way to live. Taking responsibility is liberating. It means recognizing that you are in control of your life. You are the one who makes the choices that shape your future. Whether you succeed or fail is largely determined by how you respond to life's challenges. When you own your decisions, both the good and the bad, you stop seeing yourself as a victim and start seeing yourself as someone who is in charge of their own fate. This doesn't mean that everything will be easy or that you won't face adversity, far from it, but it does mean that when things get tough, you won't throw your hands up in defeat. Instead, you will find a way to keep going, to keep improving, and to keep moving forward. The difference between people who succeed and those who don't often boils down to this. Successful people take full responsibility for their actions, their mistakes, and their journey, while others look for excuses. It's easy to blame other people for our problems, but true growth happens when we stop pointing fingers and start looking inward. We have to ask ourselves, what role did I play in this? The answer may be uncomfortable, but it's also empowering. The moment you take responsibility for your situation, you gain control over it. You stop feeling helpless and start finding solutions. Taking responsibility also means accepting the fact that your future is not determined by your past. Your past may have shaped you, but it doesn't define you. Many people get stuck in the past, constantly reliving their mistakes and failures, but the truth is the past is over. The only thing that matters is what you choose to do today, right now. You have the power to change your life at this moment, no matter where you've been or what you've done before. Once you accept full responsibility for your actions and decisions, you will notice a shift. You will stop waiting for external circumstances to change. You will no longer feel helpless or like a victim. Instead, you will start to see opportunities everywhere. You will begin to take action, not because you're forced to, but because you want to. When you take responsibility, you empower yourself to create the life you desire. This doesn't mean that life will be free from setbacks or challenges. We all face obstacles, but the way we approach them makes all the difference. You can choose to face your problems with a mindset of growth and resilience. You can decide that no matter what happens, you will keep pushing forward. And that's where true power lies. When you take responsibility, you take control of your own narrative. Many people wait for a perfect moment to start. They wait for the right circumstances, the right time, or the right resource. But the reality is, there will never be a perfect moment. There will always be challenges, doubts, and obstacles. But when you take responsibility for your life, you stop waiting for the perfect moment because you understand that the power to change lies within you, right here and now. So, how do you begin taking responsibility for your life? Start by being honest with yourself. Acknowledge where you are and where you want to go. Take a hard look at your choices and actions and ask yourself if they align with your goals. If not, make a change. Taking responsibility means being willing to change, to adapt, and to improve, no matter how hard it might seem. The next step is to commit to growth. Once you take responsibility for where you are, commit to doing the work to get where you want to be. Understand that growth is a process, and it's not always going to be easy. It requires discipline, consistency, and the ability to push through the challenges. But when you make the decision to grow, when you commit to becoming the best version of yourself, everything changes. Taking responsibility also means accepting that you are the one who decides your worth. No one else can define you. Your self-worth comes from within. When you own your actions, your goals, and your life, you stop relying on other people to validate you. You stop seeking approval from the outside world. Instead, you find confidence in knowing that you are the creator of your own story. In the end, taking responsibility isn't about blaming yourself for everything that goes wrong. It's about understanding that you are in control of how you respond, how you grow, and how you move forward. You hold the pen to your own story. You are the author of your destiny. When you take responsibility for your life, you reclaim your power and open the door to endless possibilities. Are you ready to take responsibility for your life? Are you ready to stop waiting for things to change and start creating the change you want to see? It all starts with you. Take control, make the decision, and begin the journey of owning your future. The life you've always dreamed of is waiting for you. It's time to take responsibility and make it a reality. Consistency and discipline are the cornerstones of achieving success. It's not about having one big moment of brilliance, but about showing up day in and day out, doing the hard work even when it feels like nothing is changing. These two qualities are what separate those who achieve their dreams from those who just talk about them. It's easy to get excited at the start of a journey, but the real challenge begins when the initial motivation fades and the hard work starts to set in. It's at that point, when the excitement begins to wane, that the difference between those who succeed and those who give up is made. Successful people have learned the secret to pushing through the moments when it feels like nothing is working. It's consistent. It's doing the things you need to do every single day, even when you don't feel like it. It's about choosing long-term results over instant gratification and understanding that success is a result of sustained effort over time. Discipline, on the other hand, is what makes consistency possible. It's the ability to stay focused, to make the tough choices, and to stay committed even when distractions and temptations try to pull you away. Discipline is about creating routines, habits, and systems that keep you on track no matter what life throws at you. It's what allows you to stay focused on the bigger picture when the day-to-day challenges try to pull you off course. Together, consistency and discipline create a powerful force that propels you forward even when things get tough. They keep you grounded and focused on your goals, while others around you may give up when things don't immediately go their way. And when you're disciplined, you understand that success is not an overnight achievement, but the result of consistent effort over time. It's about playing the long game, staying committed to the process, and knowing that even if you don't see results immediately, your hard work will eventually pay off. One of the biggest challenges people face is the temptation to quit when things aren't moving as quickly as they'd like. We live in a world where everything happens instantly. We have instant access to information, instant food delivery, instant messaging, but real success doesn't happen instantly. It's earned through daily efforts, through pushing past the uncomfortable moments, and through staying disciplined when everything in you wants to quit. One thing that makes consistency so powerful is that it compounds. The small efforts you put in today may seem insignificant, but when added up over time, they lead to massive results. It's like putting money into a savings account. At first, the interest seems minimal, but over time, it grows exponentially. The same is true for your efforts. Whether it's working towards a fitness goal, building a business, or learning a new skill, the more you do it consistently, the more progress you make. The key is understanding that growth often doesn't show up immediately. It's like planting a seed. At first, nothing seems to happen. You water it, you care for it, but you don't see any results. But if you stick with it, if you keep showing up and staying disciplined, eventually that seed begins to grow. The results you want are just around the corner, but they require you to stay consistent and patient. It's also important to understand that being consistent doesn't mean being perfect. It's not about being flawless every single day. It's about showing up and doing the work even when you don't feel like it, even when you make mistakes along the way. Discipline isn't about being rigid and unyielding. It's about knowing that you will face setbacks, but you will keep going anyway. It's about getting back up every time you fall. There will be days when you feel tired, frustrated, and ready to give up. On those days, consistency and discipline are your best friends. When you've built a habit of working hard every day, even on the tough days, you don't have to rely on motivation. You don't have to wait for the mood to strike. The habit of showing up becomes automatic, and the effort becomes part of who you are. Remember that consistency isn't just about the big things. It's also about the small, seemingly insignificant actions. It's about waking up at the same time each day, even when you don't feel like it. It's about making that extra call, even when it seems like a minor task. It's about sticking to your workout routine, even when you'd rather relax. These small actions add up over time to create big results. One of the reasons people fail to stay consistent is that they don't see the immediate rewards of their efforts. But success is often hidden in the small, everyday actions that don't seem significant in the moment. The key is trusting the process. Trust that the effort you put in now will pay off in the future. It may not happen right away, but it will happen. Trust the power of consistency and trust the discipline to keep you on track. This doesn't mean you shouldn't rest or take breaks. In fact, taking time to recharge is an important part of maintaining consistency and discipline in the long run. Burnout happens when you push yourself too hard without giving yourself a chance to rest. Balance is important. But even in your rest, you should remain disciplined. Plan your breaks and know that they are part of the bigger picture of maintaining consistent progress. The most successful people in the world didn't get to where they are by relying on talent alone. They got there by showing up every day, doing the work, and remaining disciplined when it felt hard. Consistency and discipline are the engines that drive success. Without them, no amount of talent or skill will get you where you want to go. If you want to achieve anything meaningful in life, you need to cultivate these two qualities. They are your secret weapons, your key to success. They are what will help you push through the tough times and keep going when it feels like you're not making progress. Success isn't a destination, it's a journey, and consistency and discipline are the fuel that will get you there. The question is, are you ready to commit? Are you ready to show up every day, even when it's hard? Are you ready to make consistency and discipline a part of who you are? If so, success is not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Self-belief is the foundation of everything. Without it, you can have all the skills, knowledge, and talent in the world, but you'll still struggle to reach your full potential. Believing in yourself is what drives you to take action, even when things seem impossible. It's what keeps you going when everyone else doubts you. And it's the power that allows you to turn your dreams into reality. Having self-belief doesn't mean thinking you're perfect or better than others. It's about having confidence in your ability to overcome obstacles and handle whatever challenges come your way. It's the quiet voice inside that tells you you've got this, even when everything around you seems to be falling apart. This belief isn't something you can buy or borrow from others. It comes from within, and it's something you need to nurture and protect. Resilience goes hand in hand with self-belief. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, to get up after falling, and to keep going even when things get tough. It's the mental toughness that allows you to stay strong in the face of adversity, to push through pain, frustration, and fear, and to keep striving for success, even when the road is anything but smooth. The thing about resilience is that it's built over time. It doesn't come from a single moment of struggle. It comes from the repeated experiences of facing hardship and choosing to stand back up. Every time you face a challenge and refuse to quit, you build your resilience, and with each step forward, your self-belief grows. The more you prove to yourself that you can handle difficult situations, the stronger your belief in your own abilities becomes. One of the hardest aspects of building self-belief is dealing with doubt. Doubt is a natural part of the process, but it doesn't have to control you. Everyone experiences doubt, whether it's doubting your abilities, your choices, or the path you're on. What matters is how you handle that doubt. Do you let it stop you, or do you use it as fuel to prove to yourself that you can do it? The key is not letting doubt define you. Instead of focusing on the negative thoughts, shift your focus to the actions you can take. Each small step you take, no matter how insignificant it may seem, strengthens your belief in your own ability. It's like building a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger you get. Every success, no matter how small, is a victory that reinforces your self-belief and builds your resilience. Another important factor in developing self-belief is self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Understand that you're not going to be perfect, and that's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone experiences failure at some point. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they treat themselves when they fall short. If you beat yourself up every time something goes wrong, you'll quickly lose confidence and give up. But if you treat yourself with kindness, acknowledge the lesson in every failure, and keep moving forward, you'll build the resilience necessary to succeed. Sometimes the most important step is simply continuing to show up, even when you don't feel like it. When things get tough, when you feel like giving up, showing up is an act of courage. It's a statement to yourself that you believe in the process and that you are willing to keep going even when it feels like nothing is happening. It's easy to give up when results aren't immediate, but true success comes from sticking with it, even in the face of slow progress or setbacks. Resilience isn't about pretending you're invincible or immune to pain. It's about facing the reality of the situation, feeling the discomfort, and still choosing to move forward. It's okay to feel discouraged at times, but it's important to recognize that those feelings are temporary. They don't define you. It's how you respond to those moments that matters. Every setback you face is an opportunity to grow. If you can shift your mindset from viewing challenges as roadblocks to seeing them as opportunities for growth, your resilience will increase. The more you learn to adapt and evolve, the stronger your self-belief becomes. One of the most empowering things you can do is to celebrate your progress, no matter how small. When you acknowledge the effort you've put in, even if you haven't yet reached your ultimate goal, it reinforces your self-belief. Every step you take is part of your journey, and recognizing your achievements along the way fuels your resilience. Resilience also comes from surrounding yourself with positive influences. The people you spend time with can have a huge impact on how you view yourself. Being around people who lift you up, who encourage you, and who believe in you can help you maintain your self-belief even when things get tough. But equally important is learning to trust your own voice. Self-belief comes from within, and while others can offer support, the ultimate source of confidence and strength lies in your own heart and mind. Another aspect of resilience is adaptability. Life doesn't always go according to plan, and things won't always turn out the way you expect. Resilient people are flexible and able to adjust their strategies when things don't go as planned. Instead of getting frustrated when things don't work out, they look for new solutions and are willing to try different approaches. Resilience is not about sticking rigidly to a plan. It's about being open to change and finding new ways to move forward when necessary. You'll face obstacles, you'll experience setbacks. There will be times when you feel like quitting, but that's where your self-belief and resilience come in. It's not about being perfect, it's about having the strength to keep going, to keep fighting for what you want, and to trust in yourself enough to know that you can handle whatever comes your way. When you begin to believe in yourself and build your resilience, you unlock the power to create the life you desire. You become unstoppable because you know that no matter how difficult the road gets, you have what it takes to keep moving forward. Self-belief and resilience are the driving forces that will carry you to success even when the path seems uncertain. True success isn't about the destination, it's about the journey. It's the daily commitment to bettering yourself, growing, and striving towards something bigger than yourself. Unlocking your full potential is a process that takes time, effort, and patience, but the reward is worth every step. It's the power to create the life you desire, to break free from self-imposed limits, and to achieve the extraordinary. So, how do you unlock this full potential? The first step is to understand that you already have everything you need within you. Your potential is not some distant, unattainable thing. It's inside you, waiting to be realized. It's easy to look at others and think they have something you don't. But the truth is, we all have untapped potential, and it's up to us to discover it. Belief in your potential starts with recognizing your strengths and your abilities. Often we focus on what we lack instead of what we have. We compare ourselves to others, which only makes us feel inadequate. But the key to unlocking your potential is embracing what makes you unique. Your strengths, talents, and qualities are what set you apart. When you focus on these, you start to see how much you are capable of. The next step is to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. Growth only happens when you challenge yourself. If you continue doing what you've always done, you'll stay where you are. But when you step into the unknown, when you take risks, that's where real transformation occurs. You don't need to leap into something drastic. Sometimes the smallest changes can lead to the biggest breakthrough. It's about taking action, even when you're not sure of the outcome. When you push yourself beyond your limits, you'll face challenges, you'll encounter obstacles, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But these moments aren't there to stop you, they're there to teach you. Each challenge is an opportunity for growth. The key is not to view these obstacles as barriers, but as lessons. Every time you overcome a challenge, you gain more insight into who you are and what you're capable of. Success isn't about being perfect, it's about perseverance. It's about showing up every day, doing the work, and staying consistent even when it feels like you're not making progress. The journey to unlocking your potential isn't always linear. Sometimes it's messy, with detours, setbacks, and moments of frustration. But it's all part of the process. Every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. And when you look back, you'll realize how far you've come. To truly unlock your potential, you need to cultivate a growth mindset. This mindset is about believing that you can always improve and learn. It's about seeing challenges as opportunities to develop new skills and knowledge. People with a growth mindset don't see failure as a reflection of their abilities. They see it as a stepping stone towards success. They understand that failure is part of the journey, not the end of the road. A growth mindset also means being open to feedback. You don't have all the answers, and that's okay. The willingness to accept constructive criticism and use it to improve is a powerful tool in unlocking your potential. It shows that you are committed to growth and that you are willing to learn from others. Equally important is surrounding yourself with the right people. The people you associate with have a profound impact on your mindset and your ability to reach your potential. Positive, supportive people encourage you to be your best, push you to take risks, and celebrate your successes. On the other hand, negative or unsupportive people can drag you down, making it harder for you to believe in yourself and pursue your goals. Surround yourself with people who inspire you. These are the individuals who challenge you to think differently, who motivate you to strive for more, and who help you see your potential when you can't see it for yourself. Building a network of like-minded, driven individuals can be the catalyst for achieving greatness. Their energy, passion, and support can propel you towards success. At the same time, it's important to maintain a balance between pursuing your goals and taking care of your well-being. Unlocking your full potential isn't just about work, hustle, and grind. It's also about knowing when to rest and recharge. Self-care is not a luxury, it's a necessity. When you prioritize your mental, emotional, and physical health, you'll have the energy and clarity to take on the challenges that come with unlocking your potential. Sometimes the best thing you can do for your success is to step away from the hustle and give yourself permission to pause. In these moments of stillness, you'll gain a fresh perspective and you may discover new insights that help you move forward. Don't underestimate the power of rest in your journey towards success. It's just as important as the work you put in. Success also involves setting clear, actionable goals. Without goals, it's easy to get lost in the chaos of life. Having a clear vision of what you want to achieve helps keep you focused and motivated. Break your larger goals into smaller, manageable steps. Celebrate each small victory along the way, as each one brings you closer to unlocking your full potential. But remember, goals should not be rigid. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes your path will change. It's okay to adjust your goals along the way. The key is to stay flexible and adaptable, always moving forward, even if the direction shifts. Flexibility allows you to respond to challenges without losing sight of your ultimate vision. Ultimately, unlocking your full potential comes down to one thing: action. It's not enough to have potential, you have to take the necessary steps to bring it to life. Whether it's learning new skills, taking risks, or overcoming self-doubt, each action you take brings you one step closer to becoming the person you are meant to be. True success is not about fame, money, or recognition. It's about knowing that you've given your best, that you've pushed yourself to become the best version of yourself, and that you've overcome everything in your way. It's about realizing that the power to create the life you want has always been in your hands. Unlocking your full potential is a lifelong journey, and the path is never easy. But with each step you take, with each challenge you face, and with each moment you choose to believe in yourself, you will discover the true power that lies within you. Your potential is limitless. It's up to you to unlock it.